Jennifer, I just wanted to kick off because you've been a nurse for over 30 years and you've spent probably more than 2 decades helping families as a certified life care planner and an aging life care planner. I mean, you literally wrote the book on life care management, the handbook. And so what was that turning point or that moment where you realized, man, families need something more than just that, being able to hire a life care manager or writing, down a care plan on paper? Like what made you kind of like lead towards this course that you're building for families?
When I go back like decades ago, when I met with my first families as an aging and life care consultant in the community, I was guiding them through conversations, but the conversations were going all over the place, and we really needed a framework or like a system to kind of keep us on cue and to kind of know what things were really most important as far as like the key topics to discuss for preparing ahead of time and becoming familiar with the needs. And so, fast forward to the last few years, I've really had a tremendous experience that's been wonderful, but also very insightful of how I've been able to help so many family caregivers through a partnership that I have locally through my aging services, been able to meet with hundreds of family caregivers at this point, really becoming aware of yes, it is true. Everything I've learned is even more profound. There's even more profound of a need, I guess is what I mean, to give the caregivers tools, something that's going to help them really and be empowered to be proactive, to educate without overloading, honoring their aging person, their family member who's in their late adulthood, honoring their voice and their wishes, giving them tools that they can use, complementing any professional support, hopefully that they already have, and then just helping families align around a shared plan. But sometimes just talking about aging alone is difficult for a lot of people. And so we want to provide a structure in a time of maybe uncertainty and overwhelm.
Something that you said that I really wanted to kind of draw even more of the story out was, our families are being inundated with decision making. And I'm hearing you say you kind of taken this journey of years of helping families and now have recognized the patterns of, okay, you're going to be facing these decisions. Here's the work you can do before you suddenly get that question, right? Because that's what so many families don't even know, that the questions that they're going to get, right? You sit down with your lawyer and you do the good thing of getting your advanced care plan, right? But what does it really look like when someone's like, do you want to put a feeding tube in dad? Right? Like you just, until you live it. And so what you're saying is, I'm going to give you not just the steps, but I'm going to prepare you for the conversations ahead. And so you're going to give the work. And you started noticing a trend because you've been doing this for so long, and then you worked with your area agency on aging. What's changing? Because you've been working with caregivers and families for so long. Who is that caregiver? What's changing about them that led you to a digital solution?
Yeah. This isn't your great grandmother's aging journey anymore, right? This is now, and this is today. And today's modern caregiver really wants to have a framework for not only opening up discussions so that they're informed, but they also can have clarity, but also might need some training on how to come at it from a compassionate kind of philosophy of support. And wrapped around having them understand that this is part of their own aging journey and not just that of their elder parent or their loved one who's in a stage of later adulthood. Well, we haven't really given people the empowerment and tools to really, take back control and say, medical is just one part of this.
Yes.
The rest of it is kind of our whole livelihood, our whole health, our whole well-being. And if we can let families begin to realize it's okay to plan together, that it might not be so clunky and chaotic and overwhelming when the time comes that something might shift, that you deserve to put as much strategy
Yes.
and intention into what you want this aging journey to look like. But we recognize that there's all kinds of things that maybe need to be looked at. I call it turning over every rock. So getting the surprise part is that just being like, sometimes we're really the only ones, like encouraging them, like, it's okay to do this. It doesn't mean something bad is going to happen.
Right.
This is your aging journey now.
And I love that you're saying this. I really do, because it's like you do so much planning you're so right. You do so much planning your whole adulthood. Like, you figure out what career you're going to go. You go to college and get ready for that career. You go do all these career trainings. You read books about parenthood, and you're now, becoming an expert there. And I don't know how many times the daughter, after we get through like this episode and, this crisis and things, we finally got it settled because we had all the pieces in place. And she would turn to me and she goes, "How do I not do this to my kids?" And I thought that was very impactful. And I heard you say that this course it's something that you could do for yourself in conjunction with doing it for your parent. Like, that's kind of a cool concept to think about, and how mind shifting, because I see so much friction between those adult children and that parent, because they think, "Oh, you think I'm getting old and you're just going to put me in a nursing home." And how cool to say, "No, I'm doing this for myself, Mom, and look what I'm learning. And I'd like to get this set up for you too, so that we don't have surprises. Let's work together." Like, that's like, because I'm all about, granted, we know that families come in all kinds of dysfunction. So, people, they can use this course in ways to do it for themselves or educate and all of that. But your course also addresses some of those tough conversations. So, and you've done these courses. You've done the workbooks and the books, like, so what kind of made you shift into, like, okay, I don't want this thing just to sit on a shelf anymore? Like, what kind of led you to think about, how do I not only just educate, but then make sure families have something if they can't afford, or they don't have an aging life care professional in their community, or they don't know how to look for one. Like, you're also trying to, this piece of empowering someone to do it for themselves. And so just would be curious of, like, as you were going through that process, how you found us. So I'm Gina, Primary Record. And so just would love to hear kind of your thought process behind that and marriage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. The course that I created is based on my 7 Steps to Long-Term Care Planning book that I published in 2017. And I published that, again, out of a desire to truly try to get out there to encourage families to get going and coming together to, understand that they can talk about this, and there's things wholly that they can prepare for. Like you said, we wanted to create something that is not only for the person that is already in late adulthood and may need more support and experiencing some health condition that's progressive in nature, and just wanting to be prepared for that in case the needs, eventually rise. And then, of course, the what if, and just be prepared for the emergency plan of how this will all be cared for in health and well-being, if something does suddenly shift. But that being said, it sounds all great, but I knew I was missing something. I kind of felt all along, by working with family caregivers, of like, look, they're information seeking. Today's modern caregiver wants a lot of it. They have information. We're in the information era of so much information being thrown at us about any particular topic that you'd like to search. And so it's not that the information's out there, it's just in so many different places and kind of scattered throughout. And I was realizing I train family caregivers to treat caregiving as a business, really get organized, but to be compassionate too, right? And so there's this balance of it all that was going to really kind of address the need for integration, for families to create something that wasn't a binder that they have to print out, and a binder that's sitting on a cluttered countertop that no one really remembers where it even is, because it's under 2 weeks of newspapers and mail. And that's how I started, though, because we knew clearly that, I knew clearly that family caregivers weren't organized, and that they didn't know how to organize because no one's ever taught them. they also didn't know how to have these conversations with their loved ones, or there was a great resistance. And so sometimes coming at it from it's okay, let's do this together as a family, because this is about your aging journey just as much as it's about your parents. And
Yep.
so there's where we have the paradigm shift. But again, I was still missing. I can try to convince people all day long, and I don't really have a tool for them to really be like practically like in control and not overwhelmed anymore, and have a clear space like where everything is kept, where we were moving away from that printed binder. Are we going to send like the whole family the same printed binder? Those days are gone.
Yeah.
We want to create something that's really modern and on the go or on the fly.
Started Primary Record about 5 years ago, and along that journey, I've met people that will show me their caregiving courses. I've been the tester of them. I've watched them, and I have to say, like I struggle with it because I know caregiving education is a need, it's a thing, but every time I would experience that, I would just walk away. I'm like, I just felt like we were talking at families. We were just talking at them like they didn't know what they wanted. They didn't know anything. And here, I'm the smart one and I'm going to train you. Right. And it just didn't sit well. And yes, like it just was a style of education I could never really support or whatnot. And then I came across you, and you shared what you were doing. And because a struggle for us is, people, they know they need a primary record, but sometimes they don't always know, because they don't know exactly all the pieces and the why behind the parts that I put in it. And your course is this perfect marry of, well, why do I need to upload this advanced care plan?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need a post form in my parents? Why should I make sure my mom has her Medicare insurance card loaded in? And so I'm just so grateful for this partnership, just to really understand, is this helping you? Because I think that, Jennifer, I think that's where we also resonate a lot is we have a deep sense of not just putting anything out there. We want to put stuff out there that's actually going to help the families. We know we can't avoid all the pain and the hurdles and bumps they're going to face, but you and I have just experienced over and over as nurses in critical care, seeing the aftermath of not being ready, and then also out in our community trying to help families get help during the crisis. And we're just both at this point where like, we've been catching people off the cliff. How do I get up on that cliff and say, hey, don't jump? Here's what you can put in place. So, when I think about the person sitting down, I'm in my mid 40s. I have all my girlfriends and we're hearing stories of maybe our older, group of friends, like in their 50s, like their nightmare stories of their parent. And we're all kind of like, oh God, what do we do? So I think, this course does probably have a certain person. It is designed for anybody, but it's really for anyone thinking about, I don't want to face this crisis and learn everything at the same time. What can I be doing today to just get an ounce of education and preparation so that when something hits, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I remember hearing about this. Oh yeah, we already have that. Oh, I haven't updated that in a while, but we're gonna give you tools and ways for you to quickly get up to speed. But if you thought about that person, they go through your course, it's like less than 2 hours. And it's a very hands-on, me and Jennifer are gonna boss you guys around on, here's what you need to learn, here's what you're gonna do, and here's how you're gonna keep it up to date. But when you think about the crisis that you've helped families for many years, and I want you to picture that daughter in the ER, and paint the daughter with a binder and the daughter with what after someone's been through your course and has got their primary record. What do you think the difference is?
Could be open up your phone and log in. You have access already to your loved one's information because you're a trusted user, right, in their profile. And so, and maybe that's not you, but it's your brother who happens to be the one showing up at that time of need. And you're 400 miles away. That shouldn't matter. We have a centralized hub for having clarity about many things, including medications, the various health conditions, the legal documents that are there, who's all involved, what are the notes? Are there any notes in there that have been kept along the way from the various individuals that have been involved in that? It might not make much like a ton of sense right now, because we're just, maybe you're hearing it for the first time that there's a digital hub or there's an application.
Right. People have no idea, right?
Right. But it's really improved safety and ease and storing and updating important information that's all about the individual's health, well-being, and livelihood as it relates to that aging journey, right?
Yeah.
And so we recognize that there's some clunkiness for a lot of people. Some people who are familiar with using apps and building profiles and layers, may have like be on the speed track. What does it mean for us and them? And it means today, for today's modern caregivers, they want something with ease that's like right there at their fingertips, to be able to simply log in and kind of have everything there, and they can keep building upon it, and invite others in as they get more comfortable in the space of asking for more help or coordinating care.
No, and it's I can still picture this son. And you know this, like families, they don't know what they don't know. And it's so hard for nurses and us. Like we I think so many nurses want families to be prepared, right? Because we've seen it so much. Because I still remember the son turning to me, he's like, "Who's the quarterback?" Because he just felt like there was somebody that was supposed to be making this decision for their parents. And I just turned to him, I go, "You are." Like, there's no doctor that is going to make this decision for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that knows your parent. You're the one that knows your resources, what they wanted. And I just still remember his face and the stun of it. And so I just appreciate so much. And I think, so
it really is, and that's where that peace of mind, again, that I'm aiming for really when I meet with individuals and families. But this course with Primary Record is really going to help them advocate, organize, and avoid burnout. And it's okay. It's all, some of this too is is really kind of empowering everyone in the journey. That caregivers don't have to remember it all. It's in fact really detrimental to try to keep everything organized in your head.
Yep.
Because you have your own unique, human needs and your own livelihood to manage. And so if you're starting to be if you're a caregiver today, you might not know how to do that, how to get organized, and you might not know really the strategies to protect yourself from feeling like analysis paralysis, or helping to kind of be that glue that brings everybody's medical opinions and treatments and medication treatment plans, for example, together in one place so that it's more clear. But you also don't have to rely on your own brain to kind of keep it all. You've used the app, you've already built it through our course.
Done the work.
Now you build upon it to kind of sustain for the long term, knowing that it's all there. And at least it's something where you can go and update the information. Of course, the unique position of being able to connect health portals, and then families not even really knowing what it is the doctor said. And so, again, this connecting to our records seems to me like a no-brainer, that we would want transparency about what the people that our insurance or we're paying for, for their medical opinion and guidance and management, that how does it relate to real life?
Yeah.
And so providers don't have the time or the scope of knowledge to effectively care plan through end of life with families. It's just not what they're trained to do.
Jennifer, what is for that one person that's, I'll get around to this. I know I need to do it. What would be your advice to them?
And so this isn't a late advanced age planning course. This is a planning course for proactive family aging, to really get a structure in place to organize your unique village of loved ones, care team members, and support. And in the process, you're going to have that centralized hub for managing your health and well-being, taking your power back. but working also in alignment with what the medical treatment plan is, right?
Yes.
And relying on what we have today in this world of AI and this responsiveness of how we can keep informed and keep the power in the family and really, again, improve that experience. And even if it's a young caregiver, and what is today's caregiver?
Yeah.
Today's caregiver could be anywhere from, most likely middle age, like my age, or it could be someone younger because their parent
Yes.
is older or their parent had an onset of a health condition. And so their aging journey at age 65 already is looking a little bit more like, yes, they're going to need support now and
Right.
for the duration.
No, I love it. And I love your approach. It's like approach it like you're starting a new business and you've got some big decisions to make, but you're in control. You're in control. And how is this going to grow? What's the direction it's going to go? What are those things we're going to take advantage of and what we're not? And you won't really understand how to business plan for that unless you kind of use this course to see those questions and those discussions that you don't even realize you need to be talking about. So kudos to you for putting your life's work into something accessible to families. I want to personally thank you for that. And just again, as primary record, just thank you for bringing us along and seeing the utility of what we're doing and letting us help the families that use your course. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for this partnership, and excited to get started.
I'm really excited too.
And so people, how will they access your course?
Yeah, so they can access my course through the Life Care Management Institute at lcmexpert.com. And so there you'll find information on where to learn more information about the course itself, what this would look like. Again, I know we talked about it a lot today, but we'll give you more information at the Life Care Management Institute and be able to quickly register for that course. And then opt in for the primary record. Of course, we left that as a choice for those that aren't maybe too clear right away on whether or not they want that. But of course, we encourage individuals to go ahead and choose that as the integration piece that's really going to make the difference for turning overwhelm into action and uncertainty into peace of mind. We offer this 3-month free subscription of primary record because we know that we can integrate all of what we teach you to get organized into this cutting edge technology, and you can do real-time note taking. You can do journaling in there, and there's AI responsiveness built into the app. So it's an unbelievable tool, which I really feel like, again, is kind of like the golden egg for me of giving something, walking through, helping guide people through these deeper conversations and these practical steps to take for informed decision making, identifying wishes, and aligning with all of what is this family structure and what is the aging journey going to look like for us. Where can we take our power back, and where can we really, again, navigate these various transitions, or just how life looks different now that our loved one is in their late adulthood.
Yeah, and we the 3 months is intentional because Jennifer and I are also busy women in life, and we know that if we gave you 6 months, you would do it the week before the 6 months deadline was due. So 3 months, and also when Jennifer is sharing, you're going to get access to primary record even afterwards. The way that the subscription model is you don't have to continually pay a subscription to maintain and to access and see your information. There's just certain features around there that if you needed unlimited access, that's when you could kick in on a subscription or not. So Jennifer's partnered with a tool that you're not stuck into some subscription for life. We're all about access to that information and families, but there's just some things to help keep us functional and keep doing this work along with amazing life care managers and planners like Jennifer. So,
and I really appreciate Primary Record for partnering with us too and offering this opportunity for really being able to give families and caregivers a real structure and something that they're left with that's extremely useful and going to help them for the long term.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.